Hey, excuse me. I was wondering, could I get your number?
Excuse me? She is not interested.
Why is it that ugly women are so incredibly mean? Like, they're some of the meanest people I've ever met. But it doesn't apply to guys. Like, an ugly guy, maybe he's a little weird, but he's not mean. At least to me. This is a video from the perspective of guys talking to women. And it's absolutely the case. Which is funny because if class has been paying attention, one of our last videos was why beautiful women are crazy. So you would assume that people who are ugly would be much more sane or kind. But it's not the case at all. No, they're incredibly mean. Some of the most cold, bitter people I've ever met. But why? My theory when it comes to this is that women commonly center themselves around other beautiful women. The most beautiful women tend to get the most attention out of the groups. Women tend to congregate around those individuals, including the less attractive women. After all, the word attract means to pull people in like a magnet. If you're attractive, you attract people to you. And men and women are treated very differently. I'm not trying to be that guy who simply says, women have it so much better than men and yada 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 and all doom and gloom or whatever. No. But it is true that women who are very beautiful are treated differently. And nobody knows that better than an ugly woman. I mean, can you imagine being an ugly woman surrounded by very beautiful women? They're going to get all of the attention. They're going to get the special royal treatment. Nobody knows how much better they have it than ugly women. They have front row seats to see it in action. Guys, we only get a glimpse to see how they're treated better. Women, on the other hand, they either experience it or they see it so much. Women who are average or above average looking, they're much more normal and they're much more kind. They're not treated extraordinarily better like beautiful women are, but they get enough that they don't become bitter or angry or have a reason at all to be resentful. Ugly women, though, they don't get any, and they see it very clearly every time an attractive woman gets asked for her number, gets complimented on her beauty, is treated better. They see it constantly happen to them, and then they wonder to themselves, why am I not treated the same way? Why do guys not compliment me? Why don't they ask me out? Why don't I get that special treatment? She doesn't have to do anything for it. And when you're constantly exposed to that, you're seeing it day in and day out, and it makes them very bitter and rude towards men. But when it comes to how they treat other women, it's a bit more complex. For the most part, from what I can see, women will attack other women in different ways, depending on their age. For very old women, it's extremely common for them to flat out insult, attack, and shame younger women. They call them whores, they call them sluts. It is not uncommon whatsoever. But it's different for younger women. Younger women their own age will gossip and lie about them behind their back. Younger women who are not as attractive commonly try and destroy the character of the beautiful woman. They'll spread rumors and gossip behind their back. They'll say that she's sleeping with tons of men. That is how they go after them. If they have a bone to pick with you, that's how they do it. But for guys, they're just mean and rude. They're cold. It's unbearable. Whereas for women who are average looking or moderately attractive, they're perfectly normal and sweet. They're really fun to talk to. They're easy to get along with. I personally try and be friendly and warm and welcoming to everybody around me. And I've always noticed that it's not the beautiful women who are mean, it's not the average women who are mean, it's always the women with a permanent frown on their face. They tend to be the most vicious. And I'm not bashing women, but I'm simply making this video to explain what guys already know and accept to be true. We see this all the time, it's plain as day for us. You ask any guy and they'll say it's true. I'm just here to explain it. But there's another aspect to all of this. An individual who grows up with this perspective, which is you see the difference between how people treat you based off of your beauty. You see that beautiful women are treated much better than ugly women or less attractive women. You seeing that firsthand and the stark differences between the two might give you a cynical perspective of life. You might form this opinion of men that they're horrible, they're trash, they only treat you well because of superficial things like beauty or how you look, not based off of who you are as a person. And it would cause these ugly women to become extremely mean and hostile towards men, and envious towards beautiful women. It reminds me of a prostitute. You see, prostitutes have a very cynical view of men because they've been exposed to a very ugly and horrible side of humanity. I mean, can you imagine being a prostitute? The things they put you through, the way that they treat you, and the type of men you interact with on a daily basis? That's really going to skew your perspective. You're seeing an ugly, dark side of people, and you form that opinion of them as a whole. And for these types of women, that's the opinion that they hold, which is men only care about looks. They only care if you're beautiful. They don't care about your character. They don't care about your qualities. They don't care about you as a person. They're disgusting, filthy, rotten people. Now, of course, this is going to operate on a spectrum. Some will hate more or less depending on their experiences and who they are as a person. But some of the kindest people I've ever met are very unattractive, very unappealing women. Some of the sweetest and most kind people I've ever talked to. And I think being ugly contributes to that. And I don't understand it, but it's true. I think for a very small percent, it doesn't cause them to become ugly, mean, rude, resentful, bitter, and cold. And instead, it makes them incredibly sweet and kind. I don't get it. Some people who are simply put in shitty or bad situations come out much better than other people. For the majority, if they're placed in a very bad situation or given reason to be mean, ugly, or rude towards other people, they'll be that way. But for a small fraction, it gives them reason to be kind towards everybody. And that's it for this video. I hope you found it useful or insightful. I didn't have statistical data to support this one, but I thought it would be of interest. And all of this video is just my experience, so you can feel free to disagree with me. I hold it to be true, and I will defend it. But I'm not going to be bent out of shape if you disagree with me or have a different opinion. It is what it is. No hard feelings. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video.